the Opelka Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching OSU football with Brandon Chatmon. I'm Jenny Carlson. Brandon, as Oklahoma State prepares for this Bedlam game on Saturday, I think a big offensive concern, the OU offense that has to be a concern for OSU, it's got to be Ryan Broyles. I mean, sort of in the same way Justin Blackmon's got to be a concern for OU. How does OSU slow down, try to contain Ryan Broyles?
I don't know. That's the big question. I mean, obviously last year they didn't do it very well. I think he had over 200 all-purpose yards, and he was just simply unstoppable. I mean, if you look back at the Bedlam game last year, it was essentially an ugly fest. I mean, both offenses were struggling, and then Ryan Broyles got into the mix and he started making plays. And from that point forward, it was pretty much over. So stopping him is going to be a big key, and we'll see how much the Cowboys have learned as far as just trying to be able to contain him and keep him from doing what he does best.
Has to be concerning to Cowboy fans out there to see some Kansas receivers last weekend running free in the secondary, getting open. They dropped some passes that Ryan Broyles probably doesn't drop if he's that wide open. Is this a defensive backfield question when you talk about slowing Broyles, or is it more up front what happens with the guys on the line and how they handle Landry Jones?
I think obviously it's a combination of both. I think in Bill Young's system, you know, they kind of drop back. They don't necessarily put their defense in positions where they're in one-on-one situations with Broyles. So I wouldn't say it's completely on the secondary. Obviously, you're going to want that defensive line putting pressure on Landry Jones. You're going to want them trying to make things uncomfortable for Landry Jones and hope maybe you get him a little bit rattled. Hope maybe you have him be a little bit inaccurate at times. And that probably would be your best bet, because we all know if you've seen Ryan Broyles, there's not one guy that's going to stop the guy. He's just that good.
Is there a magic number? Is there a number that OSU's defense needs to hold Broyles under if they want to win this game?
I'd say you want to hold him under about 150 yards, and the thing that really killed him last year was his special teams, his punt returns. You want to make sure he doesn't make plays in the special teams as well. So I say if you're able to keep him under 150 yards, and most importantly, you don't want Kenny Stills, you don't want some of those other senior receivers to have big days. So if you have Ryan Broyles around 150 and those other receivers 75 or less, I think you probably feel pretty good about your chances.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.